So every time I see a tall head that prays the way you pray, I'm reminded of that day. I'm not racist. All I am is afraid.
For us, it's immediately. It's put in the media. And this is what's creating the Islamophobia.
I went to the airports with my family, and they would random search us, you know, multiple times in one airplane trip, or like stalk us throughout the airport. And my dad actually got pulled aside, and they like checked his passport, and they're like, you know, so you says you're from Iran. And it's like, I don't know, that kind of discrimination. It's like, you know, it's real. It's in our legal system, and it's wrong.
When I'm traveling, that's immediately, because I'm wearing this scarf, I have to step aside and just to accept. We started to accept that they do things special for us because of who we are. Sometimes when I apply to a job or within my job, I have to work 100 more to give more. I have to be even watching, it's my, you know, all the credible things, all my CV. The minute they look at me and they see me as wearing a scarf, I won't be their first choice. I feel like if I pray and somebody would notice that I'm praying, I'm afraid that they would be afraid of me, okay? Mm-hmm. Because, and by the, you know, this prayer, we do it 5 times a day. So to practice my duty as a Muslim, that I came to this country in the first place to feel free to practice, that now I feel like I am not able to do it all the time.
Well, there's so many misperceptions in the United States, you know. When you see like video games such as, like, you know, the Battlefield games and Modern Warfare, all those games are focused on, well, a lot of them are focused on the war in Iraq, or as recently as Battlefield 3, a hypothetical situation in which the United States invades Iran, which never happened, and I see that as propaganda. There is a lot of Islamophobia displayed in films, media. That Iron Man movie, you know, that was taking place in the Middle East. Let's see. Just in general, TV shows, everything. Books, perceptions of women. You know, they see women as oppressed, and the men are, you know, these demons and savages, and it's ridiculous.
Ignorance is the worst thing and the major factor in creating fear.
Maybe I'm the one that needs to understand. I mean, what type of country would take the actions of a few and blame it on whole civilization? I mean, thank God we don't live in that nation. I mean, what type of nation would discriminate its people on its beliefs and justify them as an abomination? Nah, I live in the land of the free.
I'm originally from Syria, and we left Syria again because of the oppression of, you know, against the religion, against the freedom of speech, freedom of practicing your belief. And we thought, like, in the United States that we would be more free to do whatever we wanted to do.
Being in America, it makes it harder to practice. I wouldn't say that I'm a worse off Muslim, but I would say it's harder for me to do like prayers and going to Friday prayers because there's not much outlets to go.
More than anything, I think you have some people who do identify as American and other people who say, what about America do I love? Like, I feel like I'm, you know, threatened all the time and I don't have a place.
I guess Americans, they try to avoid the matter of religion, so I don't really, never occurred to me like to talk about religion so much.
We were attacked by these outside terrorists, and so as Americans we're under attack, and I identify as American. But then people would turn around and they saw me as the enemy, so I see it as like, I felt like I was double attacked. I was like, I didn't fit in anywhere.
See, at first they would ask me questions like, if we went to war today, would you shoot us or shoot them? And such radical quotes are usually taken as a joke, but how long can a joke go before you start to think, is this the only thing they know?
I have to own something that people hate. And so I remember such great confusion at the beginning. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to think? What am I going to say? Like, I just didn't even know what to say.
Gradually over time, as I got older and I started to understand what was going on more and more, I started to comprehend better, like, what was going on. Probably, though, middle school, like 6th or 7th grade, is when I really realized, like, okay, this is what happened, and people think that we're all evil now, basically. I've been raised with Iranian, like, ideals and Muslim ideals, but I'm very Americanized at the same time. So I have, like, values from both, or all three, rather.
Being a youth is tough as it is, and to have to face questions of like, well, why are you Muslim, and go back home and we don't want you, it's a really tough thing on your psyche.
Well, my father told me that when I went out and people asked me, what religion are you, I should tell them Baha'i, which my mother was a follower of Baha'i, and that is a religion that's basically just endemic to Iran, so not a lot of people know about it. And he said if I said I was Muslim, then they would, they see Muslims as bad guys in the United States, so you shouldn't tell them you're Muslim, and shouldn't tell them you're atheist because they won't take that seriously. Later on in my life, as I got older and my peers got older, they started kind of separating me. Like, they would make jokes about hijacking planes to me and calling me terrorists. They'd say like, oh, I'm reading about your uncle right now, and have a book on Osama bin Laden, and yeah, just a lot of jokes like that. And I don't know, I kind of felt like I was being pushed as an outsider.
It's not just student on student bullying, it's actually teacher on student bullying. So the students won't even get the opportunity to address some of the issues that are being said about Muslims. So they don't even have an opportunity to defend themselves, so they really feel isolated and marginalized. And unfortunately, I think that's something that can be really damaging in the long term. I realize that, I own my faith, because, it really actually forced me to ask some tough questions.
There's two different kinds of jihad. There's one jihad that means like the personal struggle, so it's like avoiding temptation and all of that. That's one form of jihad. And the other form of jihad is self-defense, basically. If someone physically forces himself onto you and threatens your life or your people's life, then your duty is to defend yourself and everyone else. I feel like people think it's mainly to kill, like, destroy Western civilization, basically, or something like that. But it really isn't. And also the people that are claiming to be doing jihad against the United States, I don't think they understand what jihad is either, because if they did, they wouldn't be calling it what it was.
For our fellow citizens who are not Muslims, please don't talk about us and don't hear about us. Talk to us.
The enemy of truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth. Persistent, persuasive, and realistic. So there's these little tiny grains of truth, and they make up this bigger myth. And I think that's especially where the Muslim community's been hit the hardest. It's all about inspiring change and inspiring hope. And there's so many people out there that for all of the people that were negative after 9/11, there's so many people who just really came out in force and supported the Muslim community.
Even though I was born in Iran and that I'm Muslim, that I'm probably close to just as American as anyone else. And people need to realize that there really isn't that much of a difference between here and there.
Muslims are a diverse group of people, just like everyone else, and there is no way that they can be generalized as being evil or good or anything, because there's so many different people and they cannot be generalized.
It made me want to search deeper and see, what else is there, and that's when I really found more things within Islam that inspire me.
To Muslims, walk tall, contribute, get engaged, make the society better. This is the position that we deserve, and this is the role that we ought to play.
Listen, there is terrorism. And there are terrorists living. But the last time I checked, terrorism and terrorists are not a religion.